everybody, welcome to the Homestead. It's part 2, track loader drama. We're heading back over there to work on it today. I'm going to try to get that front plate on and get the pump attached. I didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it the other day because we were just kind of visiting, but I'm going to go head back over there and get on that and get it finished today, hopefully. And then you may notice I have a little bit of a trim on my beard. So I went into town the other day and went to a barber. I said, hey, do you work on beards? And he's like, yeah, because people have been on me to trim it because I had some straggling hairs on my beard to get fixed, and people are like, you should trim up those and get, trim your beard up a little. Okay, fine. This guy completely butchered my beard. It was all crooked and uneven, so I had to go home and it was a mess. I had to trim up my beard a little bit. It's a lot shorter. It's been years since my beard has been this short. Yeah. Anyway, so I head back over there to work on the dozer, the track loader, and the guy who originally took that front plate off and who took that pump off, the hydraulic pump, he never came back. I totally understand why. Basically, here's what happened with this thing. So if you don't know, Bob, who's the guy who's selling me the track loader, he replaced the fluids in the track loader, all the fluids, and for the hydraulics as well. But the manual says that when you replace the fluids, you need to let the track loader warm up for 20 minutes, or maybe it's 30 minutes. I think it's 30 minutes. Let the track loader warm up for 30 minutes before you run it. Just let everything come up to pressure again. Well, he didn't do that. He basically replaced the fluids in the hydraulic lines and he took off and started running it. And, after about 10 minutes, the track loader just stopped running. It was basically, and then he figured out why. It's because the hydraulic pump, the splines on the hydraulic pump were really bumpy roads here. The hydraulic, the shaft and the hydraulic pump, the splines were ripped off. They were shredded. They were sheared off. So because he didn't let it come up to pressure. Anyway, long story short, folks, the guy who came out and took the pump off and figured out the problem, obviously, because Bob probably knew what it was. He pulled the pump off, realized the splines were sheared off, and he had to take that plate off. And I'm sure that was a beast. It's been hard just to get it back on. And look at that guy. That's the road guy, road grader. He'll do your driveway once a year, the road grader, for free. But chances are you just have to find him and pay him $50 cash to go ahead and do it when you see him, because otherwise we'll never get to it. Anyway, I'm going over there today, but I totally understand why this guy never came back. Bob couldn't get a hold of him. He wouldn't come back. He couldn't get a hold of him to come back and finish, working on the track loader. I think he lost the front plate. That's why I had to order another one from Canada. So, but I totally get why this guy never came back. I don't blame him at all. So, I'm heading back over there today. We're going to get this thing on there, hook or crook. I have some new tools with me to make it hopefully a little bit easier to get in there and get some leverage. So I'll see you back over there. Well, I'm back working on the track loader, and I got another bolt sunk in. And I ended up breaking my cheater pipe. It's not really much of a cheater pipe. It was some Schedule 40 PVC. It's all I could find. So I found another one. So I'm using that one. And I'm just out of leverage. I can't turn that thing anymore. So my father-in-law cut me these little 5/16 Allen wrench pieces to put into a socket. And the socket I had was for 5/16 was only a 1/4 inch drive, so I've got a 3-inch drive socket set. So I had a step down, a 1/4 inch step down piece that I put on the 3/8 inch drive. and I about ripped that in half. So that didn't work. Good idea, just didn't work. So now Bob went over to his neighbor's house. He's coming back now, and he's getting a 5/16 Allen wrench socket. I think that'll work with the leverage I got with the ratchet and then the cheater pipe. So that's kind of what I'm doing. He's on his way back now, so we'll see how that works. You wouldn't think sinking 6 bolts would be that hard, but man, golly, I'm basically upside down in this thing trying to do it. So we'll see what he's got. Okay, so I'm back in the truck. Good news and bad news. The good news is I got the plate in, all 6 bolts are seated, and it's good. Bad news is the hoses don't match up with the pump fittings. So I've got the pump right there, and I'm taking the pump over to the county shop down the road here. There's a guy I know, and he works on dozers and track loaders and road pavers, all the stuff the county has over there, and he knows this stuff. He works on it every day. So I'm gonna see what he says, and I mean, guys, I know when I'm above my pay grade, you know, I'm not used to working on this stuff. I want to make sure it's done right, because the worst thing that could happen is if you hook it up wrong, you ruin the pump or worse. So the hose fittings don't match, and because we know the guy who took this apart originally, he lost some pieces. I mean, it's only by the grace of God that I found the bolts. The bolts were down in the seat, you know, amongst a bunch of leaves and dirt, and it was amazing that I just found the bolts. So there may have been other pieces that have been lost that need to be matched up for this pump to hook up correctly to the hoses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to him, see what he says, and if I have to pay him to hook it up, I'll do that. I just want to get this thing up and running so I can get it over to the homestead, because we got some chores and projects that we need to use this for, and I'm running out of time. So we're going to go ahead and drive over there, see what he says, and see what we can do about getting this thing up and running. All right, that's part 2. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know. I'm out here at the county shop and talked to some guys in there, and they gave me a name of a guy. He's gonna have to call me back, but he has a service where he goes out and basically works on heavy equipment around the county, and he's the guy who can come out and give me a hand. So I'm gonna wait to hear back from him, or go home, and I'm sure there'll probably be a message when I get home on the machine. So that's the guy I gotta get. Gotta get this thing up and running. I'm tired of fooling with it. And I was showing him the pump, and the pump, these things just don't match up on it. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. But this guy, they said he's the guy you want to talk to. He knows all about this stuff. He works on all kinds of different models around the county, and there's just tons of dozers and track loaders and road graders and all kinds of stuff sitting around this county, and fields, and you know, people use them for all kinds of things. They're pretty common. There's a lot of them out here, so you know, that means there's people out here who work on them. So there'll be a part 3, and maybe a part 4 and part 5. I don't know, but we're gonna get this thing up and running, no doubt about it. All right, guys. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed the video, you want to keep seeing updates on the dozer, our track loader, check out this list of amazing folks. These are our patrons that make all of our videos possible. We couldn't do what we do here without them. Thank you very much for our patrons. Part of the reason we're going to be able to get this thing up and running on the homestead and do some major work. So thank you very much. Check us out on Steemit. We're on Steemit, and I'll leave a link to our Steemit page in the description below. Like us on Facebook, share us on Twitter, subscribe, hit the button below, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on American Homestead.